Welcome to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost with me, Charly Leetham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and I'll break them down into bite-sized tips you can use straight away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and Shine. It's your daily dose of business tech inspiration with me, Charly Leetham. Episode number 585 today. I believe that's right. If not, Ryan will correct me. I am sure. I'm actually not going to follow on from the series I started yesterday. I received a request on I saw a request on one of the forums I'm on, and I followed it through with the person who made the request, asking about trademarking in Australia and what needs to be done and all the things associated with that. And and the reason they were asking that is because they'd received an email saying that someone else was looking to trademark their business name. Now, that's not an unusual state of being. That's not an unusual thing to happen. Is that, yeah, you operate your business, you have a business name registered, you use that business name for years, and then someone comes along and says, oh, I want to trademark this name. Because it works for me in my environment. The concern that this person had was, first of all, they didn't want to spend $200 to trademark their business name. The second one is, who the hell would want to trademark their business name? I'm not going to say what their business name was. It was something not particularly generic, and it was something very, very specific to the VA section or segment of the industry. And they had some real sort of valid questions about whether they needed to worry about it, what should they do, how do they find out about it. So I thought I'd dig into it a little, because it's one of those things of, you need to pay attention to it. You need to give it some energy to make sure that you are looking after your business, but it's also a case of buyer beware. So what I'm going to do is pull up a sanitized version of the email that was received so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to go through the email. Then I'm going to go through some of the things that I've done and that I do when I'm looking at whether this is a legitimate thing, whether this is something I need to be concerned about, whether this is something, whether it's real or not, or whether it's just another, I want to just take money out of your pocket type thing. I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I am saying that it's a buyer beware situation, and you need to be aware of these issues. So let me just bring up the email. I've actually got a copy of the email here on the left-hand side, so I can scroll through it and read it as well. But let me bring up a copy of the email and we'll just run through it. Okay, so the email itself is sanitized. I've taken out the person who sent it to me. I've left the business details in there because they're pertinent to this conversation. So the email starts with, hi, this is so-and-so. It's a three banger name. It's the first, middle and last name. That to me was the first thing that indicated that it might be an issue. I'm not saying it is an issue. I'm not saying that they don't communicate like this. It is just not a cultural norm for Australians to communicate like that. We wouldn't necessarily give our full three names. We would give at best our first and last name, if not just our first name, and introduce who we are. It says then that they're a registered intellectual property solicitor with the Trans-Tasman IP Attorneys Board, TTIPAB, reaching out to you from the legal department at this firm. We're contacting you regarding a trademark application we've received from a third-party applicant seeking to federally register the business name as a trademark and under the Trademarks Act, that's where I live, Act 1995 Commonwealth. As part of the due diligence process, our internal Trademark Search Department conducted a manual search of this name to assess its availability during this process. So it goes through, we've done all these things, we've checked it, we've found you, we've identified that you were someone using this. Though we found no existing trademark application or registration filed under your name with IP Australia. So it's hitting all the right things here. Yes, we've done a check. Yes, we found you. Yes, IP Australia. We're getting all of the things. We've got the Trademarks Act listed. We've got, okay, so maybe this is legit. The purpose of this communication is to seek your confirmation. Are you still actively using the business name in trade or commerce? Would you like to, now this is a thing that this is one of the things that kind of identified it to me as why would you do that? Would you like to secure the federal ownership rights by filing a trademark application under your name? Well, hang on a minute. Didn't you say at the top there that you've received an application from a third party seeking to register this business name or this trademark? So if you've got someone who's seeking to register the trademark, are you now, and you're charging them to do this, theoretically you're charging them to do this, you're acting on their behalf, that's what you've said in that paragraph, and now you're asking me, do I want to register the trademark for my own name? Two things there don't compute. Why would you be acting on the behalf of someone else and then offering to do this, like undercut them? Because that's what you're doing, you're undercutting them. Maybe that's legitimate. I don't know. It's not the way I would think that this got done, though. Please note that under Australian, and it goes through like, and now we've got the fear coming in. Under Australian trademark law, ownership is determined on a first to file basis. Registration of a business name with ASIC does not provide exclusive legal rights or protection at a federal level. Only a valid trademark application filled with IP Australia establishes enforceable rights. So, okay, that's all technically correct. I will question the first to file basis. It's all technically correct. But there's fear in there, right? It's the fear basis. You're going to lose out. It's the fear of missing out. It's also, then they double down on that. If you choose not to act, the third-party applicant may obtain exclusive trademark rights to the name in Australia, more fear. You may be required to cease using the name even if you've been trading under it for years, more fear. That is technically correct, but there's more fear associated with it. You could face infringement claims, cease to desist demands, or domain reassignment disputes under AUDRP. I'd have to question some of that, but again, it's more fear. It's the more fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Reclaiming trademark rights later through legal opposition or litigation could cost you lots and lots of money. So again, more fear, and now they're adding in the money side of it. If you wish to protect your position or believe you may have grounds to claim your ownership, please reply in this message within 48 business hours, with relevant details. Please feel free to reach out, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now I've put the contact block in there. There is a phone number, and I might actually end up ringing that phone number and see if it's connected. There's just several things in there, as I've said, as I've gone through. There's a lot of fear, uncertainty, doubt. There's a lot of information there about if you don't do this, this is what's gonna hurt you. I also question that we've received an application from someone else. We're working with someone else. Is that what they said? Let me just see what they say again and make sure I've understood what they've said exactly. We are contacting you. We have received from a third-party applicant seeking to federally register the business name. Okay, so they've received a trademark application from a third-party applicant seeking to federally register the business name. Okay, sorry, the trademark on the business name. Okay, so you're acting on someone else's behalf. That's what that implies to me. I may be wrong. I may be misunderstanding that. That implies you are acting on behalf of a third party, and now you've come back later on in this message and said, but we'll register it for you if you want. That immediately raises alarm bells with me. Now you've got the contact block down here. You've got the whole name. You've got an ABN. I've checked the ABN. The ABN is absolutely registered to this company that sent this through. Sorry, I'm just checking a few things here. It is an Australian company. It's limited by shares. It's not an overseas company, so it's registered within Australia. Their address is not listed as Parramatta in New South Wales. It's somewhere else in New South Wales, but not Parramatta. Okay, so what do we do? How do we handle this? Do you go ahead and just say, well, yes, I want to register the trademark so that I can save it, so that I can save it and save myself all this hassle? Or do you start to question whether this is legitimate or not? Well, first of all, question whether it's legitimate or not, and then go and check whether you can get this done cheaper, because these guys are going to charge you to register the trademark. Okay, so let me have a look at a few other things here. I'm just going to bring up the right screen because I did a whole heap of investigation as I went through. So what I'm going to do is go through some of the investigation that I've done and some of the things that have come up that say a few things to me. I may be wrong. I may be entirely wrong, and this may be something that you need to follow through. So just bear with me and I will bring up my screen share in just a moment. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I did as I went through this entire process. One of the places I went to was IP Australia, ipaustralia.gov.au. I wanted to have a look at what the process was. Initially, when I went here, it was to look at what the process was to register a trademark, how much the costs were, make sure that the costs were lining up. Have a look at how someone could challenge the use of my name, whether they could register it or not. Now, I'm not going to go into all of those details. I'd actually recommend, I'm going to come back up to this top section in just a moment. I'd actually recommend that business owners understand the basic process of trademarks and patents and registrations and all of those things, and go through the process here. Now, there's a few things around registration of trademarks that I understand to be true. I don't understand the full details of them, but one of the things that I do understand is that a trademark really applies to a brand in a very narrow, unless someone's paid for a lot of money, in a very narrow segment of the industry. So you could have someone using the name in one part of in one industry and using the same name in another industry. The idea of trademark infringement, as I understand it, is if there could be confusion, if it's deceptive or confusing marketing. So, registering a trademark that is very similar to another trademark within the same industry, within the same segment, is not going to happen. But you could have a similar trademark in another segment where there is no correlation, there's no crossover, and that's probably okay. So that was the first thing I sort of looked at. I'm like, well, what segment are these people in? What are they looking at? Why do they want to register this specific business name? Is this actually something that you need to consider? So IP Australia was a good place to start. You've also got, the ability to check to see whether you can, who's got trademark applications in and such. Whatever. I didn't even get that far, okay? I didn't even get that far. Right at the top of the website, it says a new email scam has been circulating which impersonates registered IP attorneys and pressures applicants into filing a trademark. Exercise caution if you receive an unexpected email about IP rights. Read more about the scams here. Well, let's go and look at the scams here. So I opened that page up already. Scams relating to business owners have reported receiving notices stating their business names or domain name will be infringing on a registered trademark. It goes through, it's pretty much got everything here that email had already. So already I'm like, this isn't legit. This is probably something we can ignore. They do mention this Trans-Tasman IP Attorneys Directory. It says, search for and see whether your attorney is listed here. Well, okay, let's go and do that. So I've got the search form here. Trans-Tasman, search the register, attorney name, firm, and or location. Okay, well, okay, so the company name hasn't come up. Let's just do the whole company name just in case there's a problem with the search. It doesn't get it all. Nope, doesn't appear. Okay, let's put in her name. Nope. Okay, what about just okay, so they say they're representing this or they're part of the Trans Tasman IP Attorneys Regulation Board. They're not on it. Okay, so there's already something to me that says, no, don't bother about it. These guys are just scammers. They're not legitimate. They're doing something that I'm not going to say it's illegal because they are more than welcome to reach out and say, hey, do you want to register your copyright, your trademark? They might be immoral in how they're doing it, but it's not illegal. Okay. But then, okay, well, let's just have a look at some of the other red flags that you can look for because there's a whole heap of red flags all the way through this. Their website, badenlegal.com. Baden. All right, cool. For as low as $199. It goes through things. 24/7 support team, 100%. All right, cool. Choose your plan. Choose your plan. Keep going down. Keep going down. All right, what's missing from this site? There's no phone number. There's no phone number. There's no ABN here. There's no, I'm not really even seeing anything that says they're associated with any particular legal peak body or something. That might not be needed, but all right, cool. Well, okay, let's see if we can have a chat to them, shall we? So we go to the live chat and I'm just going to put in stuff here. Yeah, I know. Oh, see, even that's dodgy. Okay, we'll say start chat. The chat doesn't work. The chat doesn't work. So the only way, all right, well, let's go and check their contact page. Well, it's the same. There's no contact page. There's no email address. There's nothing. Nothing. I'm already suspicious. All right, so there's a couple of other things that I do here. I have this little plugin called DNS Lytics on my browser. Now, I often just use it just to find out where something is hosted if I'm having trouble. Couple of things that we notice here. They're hosted with Hostinger. Okay, that's fine. That's a legitimate hosting organization. Their IP address. There's no RDNS, reverse DNS on this. That means that they're not set up properly. So there's a concern to me to begin with, that server is not set up properly. It could be an oversight. It does happen, but that's another thing. It's not the only thing. It's another thing to me that's of concern. Let's go and have a look at their domain registration. Now, you can actually get a domain get a lot of these details by going to a Whois engine and putting in these details. This just uses Whois and it puts it all in here for me. First, I'm not worrying about the IP address, the DNS entries. Well, yeah, there's a couple of things I'm worried about the DNS entries actually. First, we have DNS parking as our name servers. I would have thought that that'd go to somewhere else. I mean, that might be legit, but that to me was a red flag. As a techie, that's a red flag. The second thing that was a red flag to me was the MX records that point to this .pk server. I had to look at what .pk was, and that's a Pakistani extension. So their email is hosted in Pakistan or goes through Pakistan. May or may not be an issue, but again, it's just another one of those little bricks that starts to build the wall of I am really suspicious. I am deeply suspicious. I'm not just suspicious now. I'm deeply suspicious. And then, okay, let's come down and have a look at their DNS registration. This is so we can get a lot out of their DNS registration. They do have DNS privacy enabled, which is fine. First thing I would note is that it's a .com email domain name, not a .com.au. If they're an Australian company operating in Australia, you would expect, I've got to be careful with that one. If a particularly a legal company, that they would have a .com.au. .com is still legitimate. It's just, again, it's all these little things that go together. They're registered through a registrar called Pork Bun LLC. I don't know much about them, but that's who they are, and that's where their name servers are pointing. DNS parking. It's all levels of to me, it's all levels of obfuscation about who these guys are. We don't know who they are. We can't find out much about them. They don't have any, they don't, I can't ring them. They don't have a phone number on their website that I can actually ring the office and say, hey, who are you guys? Is this a legitimate email? That would be the first thing I'd do. Like one of the first things you do is ring them and say, hey, did you send this? The next thing is this address, this Smith Street, Parramatta. So I went and had a look at their ABN. This is on the abr.business.gov. All the information you can get on businesses, if you do a little bit of research, is astounding. New South Wales 2146, is that what they had? No, well, maybe 2150, 2146. I don't know New South Wales particularly well, or the Sydney region particularly well. But what this tells me is it's an Australian private company. It is an Australian company. It was registered for GST in 2024, and it took an ABN status. The ABN has been registered since 2018. Okay, could be reasonable. The other thing I did was I went and looked at the ASIC registration. Now, I got to that by clicking on this one. Let's view this record on the ASIC website. So I went and had a look on the ASIC website. Okay, so the locality of their registered office is actually Wahronga in New South Wales. Now, this might be incorrect. It may not have been updated, but we've already got enough things that we're now starting to see a few other things not connect. I'm now more than just suspicious. I'm very suspicious. And the last thing I did was I found a link to their Dun and Bradstreet directory entry. I can tell who the principal is. I can have a look. Now we're being told that they're in Toongabbie, which might be close to Parramatta, judging by that postcode, but I'm still not certain. So they are a legitimate company. Well, they would appear to be a legitimate company. They have got an ABN. It doesn't match the details that appear on the website. The mail servers go through Pakistan. That may be okay. It may not, but it's just another thing of, yep. They don't appear on the Trans-Tasman, what's this? The Trans-Tasman IP board. There it is. IP Attorneys Regulation Board. And we've got a scam listed here that matches all of that. Okay. That's a really long-winded way of saying I'm suspicious. I'm very suspicious. I wouldn't be taking this further with the organisation. I would go to IP Australia. I would go through their check process and have a look on. If you go to the website and say check for registration, see if someone's actually got a registration on your business name, brand, whatever it is. See whether it is an issue with you. I wouldn't be going through that organisation. However, I would not be responding to that organisation. IP Australia has a process that allows you to register your own trademark. You can put in the paperwork, you can fill it all in, you can do it all. You will save all of their filing fees because you've still got to pay the IP Australia fees. I'm pretty certain that those fees that we saw on their website is their fees, not the IP Australia fees. You've still got to pay those. So you can do all of this. You can do all of these checks yourself. They do have their Head Start process where they'll do pre-checks. You don't get any refunds on it, of course, but you can get all of this checked out and decide whether this is an issue or not before you even get to having to do this stuff. So yeah, I'm deeply suspicious. I don't think it's a legitimate offer. Well, I don't think that there is someone actually applying for the business name. I think they've reached out. They've got a list of people and they've reached out to see who's going to bite and who they can take $100, $200, $300 for to do the filing, not for the not the application fees, just to do the filing. So guys, be aware. You need to do this all the time. This one was new to me, which is why I wanted to do it. I love doing this sort of stuff, by the way. It kind of really hits that part of my brain where I can go and do the investigation and see whether it looks legitimate or not, make some decisions. I can't advise you whether you should action that or not. Okay, if it was me, I would be going to IP Australia directly and working through IP Australia directly to register the trademark if I decided I wanted to. I certainly wouldn't be using that organisation, but if you wanted to, that's entirely up to you. Just be aware that there are people out there who are trying to do these things and they may or may not be on the up and up. Alrighty, what do you guys think? I would love to know. It's just another thing that we as business owners need to handle. It is entirely on us to make sure we are protected, that we are secure, that we are safe, that we know what our business is doing. There will be people out there that try to take advantage. We need to be aware of it and on the ball. What do you guys think? You had similar? How did you handle it? If you've got cases where you've actually been caught, I would love to know, not all the details, but I'd like to know a little bit more. Feel free to reach out to me and have a conversation. You can either do that via DM if you didn't want to put that stuff publicly, because I totally get it. Or I would encourage you to come and join my community, askcharly@leetham.locals.com. Join the conversation there. Leave comments wherever you're watching or listening to these videos. If this video has been useful to you, give it a like. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell to find out when I drop more content. And I'll be back tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlyleetham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.